P. Diddy, all these celebrities are in the news. I'm sure you've heard about it.
Yeah, no, everybody's, I'm sure,
Have you experienced, like, is some of this, can you see this being true? Can you see, because you're on the other side, you're a celebrity.
Yeah,
you go to the parties.
I think maybe because of my arms, people talk about my arms and my shoulders or whatever, or the way I can look at somebody. I mean, I have a way, I always could do it with my kids. I have a way of looking at them that just go,
don't try it.
That ain't a good idea. With directors, you have to do that too. A lot of people in the industry, when I'm working with somebody, I'm like, you know what, you might do that with somebody else, but we're not playing that, And I go back to being in Benton Harbor, and I think, man, please.
You and Molly Whopper.
Yeah, so I can't imagine me being in a physical altercation, but they don't know that. So
that's the negative on those parties, huh?
Yeah, so I think people know who to invite.
Yeah. Oh.
And I always kind of go, well, when I first came out to Hollywood, I did some movies I did a movie called The Human Tornado with Rudy Ray Moore and Penitentiary 2 I was doing some of those black exploitation movies. And it was some pretty wild parties, but I would be at a party and I had friends who would come up to me and say, hey, Ernie, you might want to leave now. And I go, really? What? And they say, no, you might want to leave. And I would always leave. And then I find out later there was some weird stuff going on and people whatever, and I'm like, so I always had people who kind of looked out for me, especially back in the day, and people would just kind of, pull my coat. Now, if I had ignored that and stayed till the midnight hour, but
and you could be having a lawsuit against you.
I've never, and then I also found I don't like to sort of insert myself. I was doing a movie called Weeds in North Carolina many years ago, and I think I'm friendly, but everybody would sort of get together and go to lunch, and they never would invite me. And I was like, so one day I said, hey, wait, you guys going to lunch? They said, yeah. I said, oh, well, I'll come along. So I invited myself. And then I got in the car, and they pull out every drug you can imagine. And I'm sitting there, and I can't, first off, I don't want to do it, but I definitely can't work. We're just going to lunch. We got to come back and work. And so I was like, no, thank you. But I know I'm ruining their high. So I go, no, if I'm not invited, leave it alone.
Right.
I've heard stories of things going on the Ghostbusters set. I'm like, you know what? I was there. I ain't seen nothing. So they didn't invite me in the back room. So
I feel like you were protected. But do you think that a lot, because it's talking a little bit about Bill Cosby, and I was watching a documentary about the Playboy Mansion and Jim Brown and, just all those folks. Was drugs rampant back then as far as like Quaaludes and stuff?
Yeah, I'm sure it was. But then again, because people will ask you, say, Ernie, you get high, you like to get high, man, and I just don't, because not that I think I remember I tried smoking weed, and it would always make me really paranoid, but I had some weed, and my boys, I was a single dad, they found it and they flushed it down the toilet. And I came home, and it was like, what the hell is that? And they go, well, Dad, and he was crying. I'm like, well, you did what? And I was going off, and they said, well, you wouldn't want us doing it, Dad. And then I thought, well, that's true. So, but I just never really could get to that place where I'm, I tried Coke years ago when they said Coke, you can't get addicted to Coke. And two things happened. My wife was saying she would kind of go off if she saw me trying to do it. So I would go in the bathroom and shut the door, but I was sort of lining it up, and I happened to look up in the mirror, caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror, and I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm not. That was it there. And then I had a friend who was a producer friend. She's no longer with us for many reasons, but she was trying to show me how to freebase.
Oh boy!
And
that's old school, right
just transformed in front of my eyes. I'm like, whoa! I mean, I'm like, I will never do that. So everyone, you know, if your eyes are open, you will see stuff that could easily be missed, but it's there, and so I would go, nope, I won't be doing that. You know, and the same way, I mean, not just in terms of that, but even just in terms of your health. You know, when you see somebody and they got diabetes, or they're on dialysis, or they getting toes or feet cut off, or whatever, and you go, if there's any way I can avoid that, I'm, you know, certain things you know. You just don't want to go down. And now if you happen to be there, but a lot of stuff we can really avoid, you know, and the signs are all over the place. You just have to pay attention. I think I've always paid attention.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, and comment. You never know when I might be in the comments. And also, thank you guys for continuing to watch.